Hey, hey, hey. Hi, Facebook world. Hi, friends. Hi, family. Hi, people that I don't know, but I hope soon to meet. My name is Liz Moyer, and I am coming to you live from the Bronx in New York City through We Heal for All. Yo, and I'm so excited to be coming on live with you right now. It's my first time coming on live, so I've been working towards this for quite a bit. And, it's kind of like, let's just like rip off the Band-Aid and go for it, right? So this is me doing that. This is my first live video that I'm putting out there. And the purpose of this video today is to just introduce my project, my baby, my passion, We Heal for All, what it's all about, a little flavor, a little intro to the work, to me, and an invitation to you to join me in this. Right, and not only join me along for the ride, tuning into these videos, coming on to the We Heal for All Facebook page or anything like that, but an invitation to you to legit partner with me in these questions that are alive for so many of us about how to be a human, how to be an embodied, engaged, sane human that's of deep service to this world and to this time of change that is very present right now. So a little bit about me, just to kind of give you an overview and give you a sense of who I am and where I'm coming from. Like I said, my name is Liz Moyer, and I identify as a healer by nature. So what does that mean? That means that my life path has been all about the healing. And as such, the framework of healing is what makes most sense to me. Any and every point of tension and constriction and pain is a catalyst for transformation and change, right? That point A of pain and that point B of resolution, of solution, of relief, reprieve, right? That arrow between point A and point B is the healing and is the framework that makes the most sense to me and is what I bring to the We Heal for All work. Next up, I'm a sociologist and a development practitioner by training. So that means that I've been, over the past decade, engaging myself in understanding our system, our global system, our world, right? So the macro level forces that are in play that make up the institutions and the policies and the politics and the culture that is our life right now and that we see going through so much upheaval and so much change. And then the last little part of the intro of me that I want to offer is that I'm also a spiritualist. A spiritualist by enthusiasm, a consciousness development practitioner by choice and by enthusiasm. And what that means to me and what spirituality means to me is how to make sense of this life, right? It's the way that I go about creating meaning in my life, in my world, and ultimately how I relate to myself, to other people, to this larger planet, and the narratives and the stories and the worldviews that support that. So like I said, I want to keep this video brief and just touch down on what We Heal for All is. And again, emphasize, man, that that first word we is super intentional because I see this as a complete and utter group effort, like it needs to be. So we heal for all, collective healing for our complex times, right? So in this day and age when there's really a deep sense of urgency to take action around these intense issues that we're facing as a world, whether that's the climate crisis, whether it's the migrant crisis, whether it's racial inequality and economic inequality, whether it's just having so much information about the world that, we don't know what to do, all of that and more is meant and welcome to be here at We Heal for All. All of that and more is welcome to this space and is specifically welcoming the emotional and psychospiritual side of it all. Right? So the feelings that are conjured when we read an article about corruption, the feelings that are inspired when we see an image and a video of destitute poverty, right? And discovering and unearthing the tools and the practices and the ways of relating to these feelings that ultimately use that emotional energy as fuel for the ways that we show up in the world, fuel for the actions that we take in the world, fuel for the lifestyle changes and the paradigms that we seek to live right now in this day and age. Because let's be real, I mean, if you're like me, a feeler, an empath, a sensitive individual, meaning I sense a lot of information, right? Then you have most likely experienced being activated by information, by a news article, by learning about something that's going on in the world, and have been overtaken by it. You have had experiences, if you're like me, you've had experiences where your emotional energy is so intense and so activated that it actually hijacks your ability to take action. Or if you do take action, it's, sloppy or gets misguided in some way, shape, or form because of all that's triggered and brought up for you. If you're like me, if that's the case for you, know you're not alone. So many of us are grappling with this exact same reality right now. Many of us, for our own self-care, have needed to take a step back from engaging in the news cycle, specifically for our own health and well-being. And I know it breaks our hearts, right? There's a moral injury. All of this is such a deep moral injury. Being alive and aware of the way that our system impacts people and planet is just a grade A collective moral injury that we're all grappling with. And a specific example of a moral injury in that is this, decision between, do I take care of my well-being and stay grounded in myself by not engaging in the news? But by doing that, then I'm not engaging in the news, and I'm not engaging in the world, and I'm not being of service. Those of us who feel we are called to service, whether that's political action or community service, volunteering, social enterprises, startups, anything like that, and just lifestyle, right? How to make sure that the way that I'm living right now has an impact for good and not an impact for further destruction or feeding into these oppressive ideologies and these paradigms of extraction that are just embedded throughout our system. So these are the questions, right? These are the questions. This is the psychospiritual part of engaging in world issues. And the reality, my friends, if you were coming on here being like, oh, cool, let's see what answers she has about these questions. I don't. And I don't think any of us really do. Right? The beautiful thing is that there are a lot of teachers and activists and folks who have been grappling with this for years now, right? For the last couple, Joanna Macy, the work that reconnects, right? Thomas Hubel and his collective trauma work, right? There's more and more of these teachers emerging, and yet there's just so much more to go and to do because our world is changing at a rapid pace, and to keep up with the dynamic nature of it all means that we constantly need new tools and new approaches and new conversations. So my intention with We Heal for All is to create space, create conversations, create opportunities to come together in community and figure out how to live these questions nowadays. To source from the collective wisdom of this highly educated, highly intelligent world that we live in, right? Specifically referencing Western culture, specifically referencing the subculture of individuals who are engaged in these topics, who have dedicated their lives to these topics, who have a buttload of debt because of these topics, me, to rally, right? To come together, connect as tribe, and give birth to the tools and the practices and ways of being that are so deeply needed right now to really show up and engage with this time of change. Because you know it, I know it, This is a lifelong endeavor. None of the issues that we're facing right now as a world has a one-stop solution to it, right? And we are more and more coming online to the fact that they're all interconnected issues, right? We have this systemic perspective of these issues. We understand that poverty is more than just raising the minimum wage. It's also having safe neighborhoods, access to education, transportation, opportunities for jobs, right? Healthcare, all of these different things, right? Which just makes engaging with and grappling with these topics that much more complex. So again, if you're tuned in, if you're watching this, if you're joining me on this, I want to thank you, and I want to deeply, sincerely invite you to join me in this. Join me in creating community around these topics, around these questions, to give birth to what's emerging right now. Because again, the thing that I've continuously been taught by life is that points of tension are opportunities for release. Wounds are opportunities for healing. And so the deep curiosity that lives in me is what healing wants to be born right now. And how do our emotions and our feelings and our internal landscapes provide us information for what is seeking to be born? So again, Liz Moyer here, We Heal for All. If you're feeling this, if this makes sense to you, if this resonates, if you have any kind of reaction to this, do me a favor, tune in. Tune in by commenting below, tune in by giving some love, giving some hearts, tune in by sharing this with someone who you know is also thinking about this stuff. Because I know I'm not alone. I know my friends, and we literally grapple with this all the time. So let's squad up, come together, and do this together, and pull from like these delicious, beautiful wisdom traditions and series of practices and spiritual, embodiment-oriented schools of thought and practice that exist out here in the world. You know, the age of information is great for so many things. You know, it's overwhelming a lot of us, it's overwhelming a lot of us, and it's also giving us access to such a plethora of tools that we have this awesome opportunity to connect and put together in new forms, right? So that's what I'm excited to do with you. Stay tuned. You know, I'm going to be putting out some new offerings sometime soon. They're not quite ready. They're still cooking and baking a little bit more, but I'm really psyched to share those with you too. More like courses and workshops and ways to you know, get involved in a little bit more structured ways. And again, my invitation is to use the We Heal for All Facebook page and beyond to really connect about this stuff. So much love to you. I'm grateful for you being you. I love you. And I'm grateful for you tuning in to not only this video, but to the world right now. So much love. I'll see you online.